Andy, can you give us some quick context of what we mean when we say happy path, specifically as it applies to automation?
For sure. I work in pre-sales, so I am talking with a lot of prospects all the time. And usually it's an indicator for me. So if a customer wants to see the happy path, right, going from A to B, assign a task to a user, go integrate with a simple system, it usually means, or it usually indicates that they're quite early in on their automation journey because they haven't uncovered those more happy path routes. So think of things like exceptions or rare use cases, all those edge use cases, which does happen in automation. So when a customer looks at the happy path and go, hey, this is going to be a great fit for me because we can go from A to B, no problem. And when they start implementing those solutions and then come across those kind of edge use cases, that's where the challenges happen, right? The friction and frustration and so on. And that's when you usually have to dive into kind of like hacky workarounds or unsupported methods, which we don't recommend. And I've seen this multiple times, right? Like we work with a lot of banks and financial institutions, government agencies around the world. Sometimes, actually quite recently, we've got a government overseas that deal with visas, right? And when that edge use case comes in, the whole workflow breaks, which means they have to stop it. They have to get people in to, resolve the issue and deal with that case or that task in a manual process, which is just super time consuming. So using a platform that can actually handle the non-happy path routes, it's going to future-proof you for the future.
Nice, nice. So, okay, Bertrand, why are these easy solutions kind of so enticing? And what does an organization that is currently using one of these automation solutions that focuses on that easy solution, what does that look like and what do they struggle with?
Well, I guess the principle of those platforms, they do make a lot of sense because I think, as Andy just mentioned, ultimately, you want to solve business challenges, right? This is what motivates you to get better for your business. Now, if a business user, as opposed to an IT person, was to look for those platforms, then they want simplicity. They want from A to B in the easiest way possible. So then that's why you would consider those platforms in the first place. Now, very quickly in those journeys, then you realize there are limitations. It's not as flexible as you would like it to be. And ultimately, the net result is that because of the nature of those platforms, they are easy to set up. They are then not flexible, right? Because that's kind of the opposite. And because they are built to be non-technical, again, then your options are limited. And then the result for you as a business is that you then come to work around those solutions that you've put in the first place to solve your business problem and to help you perform and get better. And so it's almost, you put an automation system in, happy path we talked about, with the hope that it will help you get faster. But ultimately, it will only cover, say, 50% of what you really need. And then you're still left with that 50% that's hanging there that you need to work around.